Hello, my sweet summer children. We are back. What just happened? What happened? We have so much to talk about and go through because it just got real and it's only episode 1. So, House of the Dragon is back. We're in season 2 and we're talking about episode 1. So, when the series opens up, right? The opening shot is a raven flying to Winterfell and bringing the news of Lucerys' death. Not gonna lie, I felt some way, like I felt some emotions coming over me as I saw Winterfell. But over these scenes, we have Cregan Stark talking to Jacaerys about what honor it is to be in the Night's Watch, and it's so honorable that Torrhen Stark made a tradition that 1 in 10 men from House Stark's household would complete like some kind of lottery system and go to the Night's Watch. So they are doing this with rocks, which me personally, if I drew the black rock, I would for sure take the bag of rocks and bang you in your head with it and run to Essos. I'm a craven, but the Starks aren't, so they're doing it. It looks like they fill the bag with white rocks and put one black rock in the bag, and whoever draws the black rock has to take the black and join the Night's Watch. And this is considered an honor. This is the first time we have heard of this tradition. However, it's not unusual for Northern Lords to take the black. There are plenty throughout history. Benjen Stark took the black in the Game of Thrones. Jeor Mormont was the Lord of Bear Island, but he joined the Night's Watch. Jon Snow, bastard as he is, he joined the Night's Watch. So Cregan Stark was everything I thought he would be. I loved seeing ice. I'm sorry, ice was one of my favorite swords in a Game of Thrones. I was so heartbroken when Tywin melted it down. I thought it was like one of the most savage things that could have happened. I also thought it was sus that Jace said that their ancestors met in this very place. So, like, was Aegon and Torrhen visiting the Wall? If you didn't know, Torrhen Stark was the last king of winter, and he bent the knee to Aegon the Conqueror on the banks of Trident, handing over his crown. And you know, if you watched my video on this, that I think he bent the knee because he shared Aegon's dream. And that heir-to-heir Targaryen secret was also an heir-to-heir House Stark secret. And when the Mad King killed Brandon and Rickard, the secret died with them. But that's why, in fact, the North doesn't remember. Cregan is definitely more interested in the North and the White Walkers and what's going on up there and winter coming. He's interested in that. Like, it's interesting because we are seeing the time period when the White Walkers weren't just legend or believed to be crib tales. The North actually remembers at this point. It's kind of like what Osha was saying to Bran. Like, Robb needs to be going north, not south. But the Starks of our time, they didn't have a clue. But anyway, winter is coming, and we learn from Cregan Stark that Alicent and Jaehaerys visited the Wall with their dragons, and neither of them would fly past the Wall. This is book canon, at least with Silverwing, Alysanne's dragon. Queen Alysanne wrote to Jaehaerys before he joined her at the Wall. She said Silverwing does not like this wall, and she goes on to say, "Thrice I flew Silverwing high above the castle black, and thrice I tried to take her north, but every time she veered back south again and refused to go. Never before has she refused to take me where I wish to go." Alicent was deeply troubled by this. If you've been watching my dragon series, the series of videos I've been making about dragons and dragon bonds and how Targaryens control their dragons, then you know I think it's a warg bond. And if you haven't watched it, honestly, what are you doing with your life? But I also think that the White Walkers use a warg bond to control whites, and the Wall stops that bond. The barrier itself stops it. Almost like when the whites attack the cave, they explode. In the first video in the Dragon series, I talk about Orl's eagle. Vanmir Sixskins was warging it when they attacked the Wall, and Melisandre took credit for the fire that burned through it, but I don't think it was Melisandre. I think it was the Wall. But dragons are smart beings. They know things. Quaithe says the dragons know. Do you? Well, Silverwing knew better. Old King Jaehaerys' dragon was Vermithor, and he wouldn't fly past the Wall either for the same reason. I also just want to say I cannot wait to see Vermithor this season. But the northern plot that exists in the books was barely touched. I'm not going to lie, a little disappointed in that. Disappointed in the lack of Sarah Snow, the lack of Vermex. I'm hoping they're going to go back to it because Kragan only gave 2,000 graybeards, and that's not...
It's not enough!
I think they did leave the door open for Jace to go back to Winterfell, but we shall see. So we get urgent news from Dragonstone. Kragan had to deliver the news to Jace, but all of it happened off screen. Then we arrive at Dragonstone. Meleys and Rhaenys are returning from patrolling the gullet. When they land, Daemon is like, get back up on there, get on there, we're going to King's Landing. Rhaenys needs to eat and rest, and so does Meleys. Rhaenys is not paying Daemon no mind, but Daemon wants to kill Vhagar. Rhaenys does not see Daemon as any authority to her, and I kind of agree, like, Daemon needs to chill, but at the same time, he's also the king consort. But anyway, it would be stupid if they go to King's Landing. Like, it would not end well. Like, Daemon, you need to sit down. Daemon is clearly agitated and going stir crazy, waiting for Rhaenyra to return. Somebody give this man something to do. He's pissed with everyone and seething with anger. Like, he's literally verbally assaulting everyone. But he gets a lesson in grief from Rhaenys. I really like this scene because she brings up Laena's death. That's Daemon's deceased wife. And then Daemon says something about Aemond, like, seeing her, Aemond finding her. And then Rhaenys like, I pity Aemond then. Like, Rhaenys saying that she would pity Aemond is crazy. Pity Aemond? Like, he has Vhagar. Please be for real. The only dragon that could probably solo take Vhagar is Vermithor. Daemon blames Rhaenys for not killing Aegon when she had the chance. He literally says, if you did, Luke wouldn't be dead. And, like, bro, chill out. I mean, I truly wish that Rhaenys did, but she's our Ned Stark. Like, and I hate that. I don't like it. I don't like, y'all can't go around showing mercy in a Game of Thrones. Look how that shit ended for Ned and House Stark. Not good. Like, not good. And I feel Daemon's words, like, really cut her a little bit. I feel like she's even second guessing the decision. If she ain't second guessing it yet, she will later. Rhaenyra is scouring Storm's End, looking for any piece of her son. It's absolutely insane how good Emma Darcy is. They killed it. They said 4 words the entire episode, but had one of the best performances. How does that happen? In Driftmark, we meet Alan of Hull. He's going to be very important to the story. Please pay attention to him. Please, please, please. But we see that Corlys is really bothered by Luke's death. And I'm like, you know, Corlys is such a sweet guy. Like, he knows that was not his blood, but he did not care. He had a blade made for Lucerys, and now he's gone. And Corlys is sad by it. Like, he's torn up about it. We get a tidbit of Corlys thanking Alan for saving his life. This shit hits harder when you find out who Alan is. I'm not going to spoil it, okay? In King's Landing, Eric's traitor ass is commanding the walls. They have scorpions mounted on the castle. The fools are so scared. They're shaking in their britches. They almost kill Vhagar. Like, they almost fire at Vhagar. Vhagar's big turkey neck, gobble while you wobble, moth-eating, wing-having ass is patrolling the skies with Fetty Wap. Let me stop. I'm upset with Vhagar for killing Luke, right? Like, but I actually love all the dragons, and nothing can make me hate them. And the fact that Vhagar was Visenya's dragon, like, just nothing can make me hate them. So we have Aegon. Tom Glencarney, the actor that plays Aegon, is also killing it. He simply encompasses the role so well. This is exactly how I would expect Aegon to be, like a F-boy. Like a F-boy. I can't cuss on here. Y'all be tripping. Concerned with all the wrong things. No clue what he's doing. Drunk most of the time. Just embarrassing. Aegon is looking for Jaehaerys. Helaena tells him, like, he's at his studies, like, don't be interrupting his routine. I love Helaena. I just think she's so innocent in all of this and so pure. And if I could give her counsel, it would be to mount Dreamfire, her dragon, because Helaena is a dragon rider. She's a dragon rider of Dreamfire. Take Dreamfire, take your babies, and fly to Dragonstone and go be with your sister. Did y'all see, though, that Helaena says she's afraid of the rats and she looks directly at the babies' cradles? Like, she knows what's going to happen. She knows what's going to happen. Aegon calls her an enduring mystery, but Helaena gets visions. She sees things. She knew Aemond would have to lose his eye to gain a dragon. But I find it interesting that Aegon wants to take Jaehaerys to his small council. He wants to take Jaehaerys because Jaehaerys is his heir, and that's the tradition. That's what they do with their heirs. Well, Aegon, I have a question for you. Did Viserys ever take you to any of his small councils? The answer is no, because you were never his heir. He took Rhaenyra to all of them, though. She was his cupbearer. But I digress. Alicent is getting her box munched on by Crispin Cole. And I swear, they are such hypocrites. Like, I can't even. Like, this is the reason that you hate Rhaenyra. This is the reason you turned on her. This is the reason for the green dress moment during her wedding. She was doing just what you're doing with the same dude that you're doing it with. I kind of figured this was happening. I theorized it was, and just, it's confirmed. But it's also like so weird because it's so nonchalant. Like they go from that to talking about the weather. It's just the audacity of it all. And it's weird. It's like when people group up and the only thing they have in common is their dislike of you. You brought them together. He brought them together because they don't like you. It's giving obsessed. It's giving obsessed. Alicent says, "We cannot." Again. And he's like, "Yes, your grace." Then she puts his cloak back on. And it's like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Because they definitely do it again. So does she say this every time they bang? Or is this some kink that's like associated with Rhaenyra and his vows and the forbiddenness of it? Like, I don't know. It's weird. And it's been going on a long time. It was definitely going on driftmark. Because Christian Cole was supposed to be having the watch the night Aemond lost his eye. Not so innocent Alicent. I wonder if you have any bastards around. Like, to be honest, I have no problem with Alicent getting her rocks off. Like, I actually love that for her. It's just the hypocrisy for me. We do see the rat catcher briefly in the halls. The council meeting was out of pocket. Jaehaerys comes to the council meeting with Aegon. Like, Aegon brings him. Aegon also invited Aemond. The Greens are counting their allies, and their allies are slim. Their letters to the Vale in the North are not being answered because they have already chosen Rhaenyra. Sorry. Some people treat their oaths a little more serious than you guys over there in the Red Keep. Aemond is betrothed to one of Lord Baratheon's daughters, so they have Old Town and Storm's End. So Rhaenyra has refused the terms. She didn't formally refuse their terms, but they killed her son, so silence is the answer they have for now. They'll get a louder answer later tonight. Tylan is annoyed by Jaehaerys, and like, I get it, it's the unruly kid whose parent thinks it's cute trope, but Tylan, he's literally just playing with the ball. What is the problem? Aegon is annoyed by Tylan and wants to turn Tylan into a pony. And in my head, I'm like, hey, Tylan, do you still think he's going to be a good king? Alicent stops this foolery in its tracks, and they go on to discuss the blockade of the Gullet because Dragonstone is here, Driftmark is here, King's Landing is here. This area is the Gullet, and the Sea Snake's fleet has it sewed up. Nothing is getting in and out of King's Landing. Not that way. So they are on the cusp of war, and they know it. The Greens had a window to try to end this war on some Tywin Lannister shit, you know, a dozen men at dinner, and they failed. Otto blames Alicent for this, though, and he's kind of right. Otto blames her for not killing Rhaenyra and instead sending terms to her. Aemond's battle plans is to take Harrenhal and the Riverlands, which Aemond is right. Any smart person in Westeros will tell you the path to victory in any war ever fought in Westeros is through the Riverlands. He's smart, but not really, because, like, your dragons can't be two places at once. Aegon and Aemond are ready for war. Fools, all of them. The Knights of Summer. Otto counsels patience and restraint, but Aegon is bored to death with all of this. He's going to be his own undoing. Larys, creep that he is, rolls up on Alicent, and he's salty. See, remember last season, he was obsessed with her and doing nasty things to her feet? Well, he's rounded up all of her household ladies and shit, and he's put them all to the question. And they've told him some rather interesting details. And those details are likely that she's been given that cookie up to the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. He's basically told her, I know your dirty secrets, Miss High Holiness. And I have to give her credit, because if Cersei Lannister was standing there, she would have seized him right there and lopped his head off. He's basically going to use this information against her somehow. But he's handpicked all of her new ladies, which are now definitely reporting back all of her doings to him. I really don't like him. Like, Otto is a B word, Crispin is a F boy, but Larys is actually really creepy, and he's capable of worse things than Otto and Crispin combined. The bath scene is interesting. She sends the ladies away. She doesn't want them around her. She sees them as extensions of Larys, his spies. She doesn't want them touching her. I feel she's disgusted by him. The things she's done to have him as an ally, I feel like she's disgusted by him. And I think she might be questioning if he's even her ally. Even as an ally, he's a dangerous ally to have. And it's clear that he knows too much. And I think he's going to get quite jealous that his foot model is rumping and bumping with Crispin Cole. Rhaenyra is flying all over the coast of Storm's End looking for Luke. If you watch the scenes, she's at a different spot every time the camera is on her. She's scouring Storm's End desperately. It's heartbreaking to see her like this. A dragon wing is found in a net with Luke's cloak. Emma Darcy is killing it. They are doing an amazing job at portraying Rhaenyra stricken with unimaginable grief. She's lost Visenya, her daughter, while giving birth. And now she's lost her son, killed while carrying out a task that she asked him to do. The way she slides off the dragon, so rushed, the way Syrax just flies up there so fast, it had me in tears. But at least she found what she was looking for. And Syrax wails right along with Rhaenyra. And if I'm not mistaken, Arax was hatched from one of Syrax's eggs. So Syrax lost a child as well. Then we get introduced to Aegon the Magnanimous. He has no idea what he's doing. Bro, he is absolutely clueless. He is kind to his subjects, which we love. We love a kind king. But he doesn't know what he's doing. Otto has to show him the way several times. And one interesting thing is we meet Hugh, which you'll later know him as Hugh the Hammer. So he is a smith. Hugh asked the crown to be paying them before they make the weapons. Aegon agrees to this, but Otto does not like the idea of this. And rightly so. Paying them in advance does not guarantee that the weapons will go to the crown once the weapons are forged. The smiths could sell them to whoever they want. While I don't like Otto, I don't like him. I hate him. He's a smart man. He's not an idiot. He went from second son to his grandson being king. Only a smart man could maneuver such a thing. But Larys, the clubfoot, is trying to get into the ear of Aegon. Larys is planting seeds of betrayal. Larys suggests that Otto be removed as hand. Honestly, Larys likely wants to be hand. But if Aegon has any sense, he would keep Otto as his hand. No one else around him besides his mother is fit for the job or is going to have more loyalty to him. But Aegon doesn't have sense, so this conversation will have tragic results. I'm almost sure of it. Otto meets with Alicent, and Alicent asks if they have the same goal. She tells him to be her ally. I really starting to feel like Alicent doesn't understand this game and is kind of naive to it. I don't like Otto, but he does understand the Game of Thrones. He was right. They should have never sent terms to Rhaenyra. She undermined him, and now that window of opportunity is gone. But I realize that none of them actually know their children. Alicent doesn't know her kids, and Otto doesn't know his grandson. They say Aegon wants to prove himself, and Aemond wishes to please. None of them know who they are. They are both filled with bloodlust. Aegon doesn't even want to be king, but he goes with it just to go with it. He doesn't want to prove himself. He has little regard for what anyone thinks of him. And Aemond, he does not want to please. Aemond wants to be king. I think Aemond wants to serve his house, and I think Aemond thinks the best way to serve his house is if Aemond is king. Aemond believes that he would make a better king, and I find it funny that they keep saying how loyal Aemond is, because while yes, he wants to serve his house, he might think the best way to serve his house is to be the head of it. Alicent asked Otto not to turn her children against her. He agrees, but he wants her to understand that the path to victory now is violence. Then boom! The House Velaryon music starts, and we are off the coast of Dragonstone, and a ship with a white sail is being cornered and boarded under the order of Corlys Velaryon. And I'm sorry, the House Velaryon theme music has got to be one of Ramen's biggest bangers. I just think it hits different. Dun 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 dun. I don't know, it's hot. I like it. When they are boarding the ships, Lady Mysaria is a stowaway fleeing from King's Landing, because in season 1, when Larys found out that she was selling secrets to Otto, he put her manse to the torch. Daemon and Mysaria are beefing. She's like, chill. I only was in it for the bread. I didn't have no loyalty to him or nobody else. And then Eric steps up, and I'm talking about the twin that's not a traitor, steps in and is like, she ain't lying, Daemon. She's not lying. Like, I was there for all of it. I seen it. Daemon is like, shut your traitor ass up, twin. Daemon is so mad at everybody, but I feel like Mysaria is right. Like, he has all this misplaced anger. Like, he can't reach his enemies. He doesn't know what to do with all this anger, so he's just lashing out at anyone in his path. But Eric makes a good point. He was like, yeah, that sounds good, but what are we supposed to do when you're, like, fighting with each other? We are sworn to protect all of you. And before Daemon can answer, Syrax is roaring and the queen is home. She walks right into Daemon, and he is treading cautiously with her because he knows she's grieving. He feels she's abandoned her duties, but it's a pain he can't understand. He's asking if she found what she needs. Rhaenys is saying her piece. Daemon is ready for Harrenhal, but Rhaenyra wants Aemond. She says, I want Daemon Targaryen, and walks away. Daemon is looking like, yes, my queen, right away. I will bring you his head. This is likely a relief for Daemon because, one, Rhaenyra is ready to act, but also he now has a task to do, and he's not just sitting around Dragonstone throwing verbal punches at everyone. He's been given a task. He has a mission, a quest, and he's going to fulfill it. Daemon then meets with the White Worm. They make a transaction. While this is happening, Jace returns home. Baela takes him to his mother. He is teary-eyed. Jace is torn up about his brother. He is absolutely gutted, but he has won the Vale and the North to Rhaenyra's cause. Harry Collette, the actor that plays Jace, made me cry. My eyes were stinging. He killed it. He killed that. That was a he killed it. Rhaenyra seeing her son and being with her other sons is going to bring her around a bit, I think. There is a cut scene of Alicent lighting candles in Luke's funeral. She lights a candle for her mother, Viserys, and Lucerys. She's lighting a candle for Luke, and it seems weird because you just tried to disinherit him and had him called a bastard in the throne room. I'll never get over the treatment of Rhaenyra's children by the Greens. But also, what did you think would happen, Alicent? I keep saying this. You have to kill Rhaenyra and all of her descendants for Aegon to ever be comfortably on the throne. I think it's just naive to think different. But I also do think that she is sincere in lighting the candle for him. And I do think that she does feel guilty. This is the same lady that demanded Luke's eye and put the thought that it was owed to Aemon in Aemon's head. As Luke's family says their goodbyes, Rhaena is tore up about it. She was betrothed to Luke. Noticeably, Daemon is not at Luke's funeral. Daemon is busy sneaking into King's Landing. Mysaria has given him information. He finds a gold cloak still loyal to him. He was their commander, after all, and made them everything that they are. This is Blood. Blood hates the Hightowers, and I'm right there with you, buddy. And he doesn't need much motivation to be convinced to join the plot. The rat catcher is in debt, he's been gambling, and he needs coin, but he knows Maegor's tunnels. Do you know the dark history behind Maegor's tunnels? Maegor the Cruel, they called him. he was the Conqueror's son. These tunnels have been used in pivotal moments in Game of Thrones when Tyrion kills Tywin or Arya escaping. The Spider uses them. As far as the Red Keep goes, though, Aegon the Conqueror had commanded it built. His son Maegor the Cruel had seen it completed, and after it was complete, he took the heads of every stonemason, woodworker, and builder who had labored on it. Only the blood of the dragon would ever know the secrets of the fortress that the Dragon Lords had built. While Maegor's tunnels are very secret and very few people know where they are or how to navigate them, the rat catcher is actually using the dog to sniff out where they are going. But we've seen them used in House of the Dragon by Daemon. He used the tunnels to sneak Rhaenyra out and also to spy on king and council. But Daemon hires them to kill Aemond Targaryen. To this, they say, what if they can't find him and it's cut? And it's like, so Daemon didn't order the slaughter of a baby, or did he? In the books, it says that Blood and Cheese were hired to kill Aegon. It does hint at the fact that they were not sent to kill Jaehaerys. But Daemon did tell Rhaenyra, a son for a son. Then we are in Aemond's bedroom with Crispin Cole. I think Crispin and Aemond have a close relationship, almost like a father-son relationship. Aemond says, you should be leading the van and I should be flying cover on Vhagar. Crispin and Aemond are making their own battle plans. Young green boys eager for war, sweet summer children. They discuss Aegon being hostage to Otto and Alicent. Aemond is not pleased with his mother, but Crispin is taking up for her, and he's blaming Rhaenyra for being a spider that drew Alicent into her web. Aemond has lost some respect for Alicent and calls her a fool. He says she speaks with two tongues and blames Aemond for starting the war. Aemond definitely started the war. Any peace that could have hoped to have been brokered was shattered when he killed Luke. And although he did not kill Luke on purpose, Luke is still dead all the same. And at the same time, like, somebody had to start the war. The war was inevitable. So in comes Otto Hightower to break up this little treasonous battle plan shit that's going on. Otto is concerned that they are planning behind his back. And Otto reminds Aemond that him and Vhagar are the greatest single power in the realm. You will have all the vengeance you seek. Keep a grip on your impulses. But Otto makes the mistake of down-talking Aegon, and Aegon not being able to control his impulses, and I feel like Aemond's going to tell Aegon that. Blood and Cheese head into the castle through Maegor's tunnels, and Aegon the Magnanimous is in the throne room, slumped over the throne. Listen, you cannot sit on the book iron throne like that. It would cut you to pieces. But I get it. They are trying to portray how unserious Aegon is, how ridiculous he is. He's drunk in the throne room debating his nickname while they're in the middle of a war, like they're on the cusp of war. He's down talking his mother and his grandfather, to which his friends are like, who gives a shit about them? I'm sorry. I wouldn't even go for that. Like, my friends know they better not ever say nothing about my mother. But anyway. But he also says that Aemond knows his place. He's loyal as a hound. I could set him and Vhagar on anyone. I wonder if Aemond is as loyal to Aegon as Daemon was to Viserys. I doubt it. I highly, highly doubt it. I think Aemond will see Aegon as an embarrassment to House Targaryen before long. But Aegon is going on and on and on about his nickname. No one knows what magnanimous means. Yes, it's ridiculous, just like your reign. They are drunk and contemplating between nicknames, and two that they come up with is Aegon the Dragon Heart, and the other one is Aegon the Dragon Cock. What an embarrassment to the crowd. In Maegor's tunnels, Blood is about to kill Cheese because he ain't taking him upstairs. And when Cheese kicked the dog, I wanted him dead right there. I hate people that are cruel to animals. I'm sorry. You deserve the worst in life. If you are cruel to animals, you deserve the worst in life. The first room they go into is the room Aemond and Crispin were just in. Blood takes the coins they were using as map markers. And this is actually Aemond's bedroom. This is a picture of what looks to be Harrenhal burning on the wall. And I feel like that's just foreshadowing. Anyway, Blood tells Cheese to set a trap for appearances. By this, Aemond will know by this trap in his room that the assassin was sent for him. He will probably feel guilty by this. He will feel if he didn't kill Luke, his nephew would still be alive. Cheese has Helaena, my sweet, sweet Helaena. They say that Daemon said a son for a son, and he also said no head, no gold. But I don't know what Daemon said. I'm thinking he told them any son. They don't know which one is the boy. She tells them, she points to Jaehaerys. Blood doesn't believe her at first, but for some reason, Cheese does believe her. Helaena tries to give them her necklace. They don't care about the necklace. They start hacking off the head in the cradle. This is why Helaena said she was scared of the rats and looked at the cradles. Helaena takes Jaehaerys and runs, all while Blood and Cheese are hacksawing. Helaena bursts into the queen's room and sits on the floor rocking back and forth with her baby. Alicent, High Holiness, the mother, the maiden, Alicent is in the bed surfboarding on the Lord Commander of the King's watch. So much for honor and duty and sacrifice. And instead of guarding Queen Helaena and her children, Crispin was humping and bumping. I think Crispin Cole is going to turn on Alicent because, one, he lacks the ability to take responsibility for his actions. He needs someone to place blame on. With Rhaenyra, he blamed her for soiling his white cloak, for him breaking his vows of chastity. He blamed her, even though he was the grown man sworn to protect and honor her, and she was just a kid. He will blame Alicent for having him in her bed instead of at his post when Jaehaerys was killed, soiling his cloak again, falling short again of fulfilling his duty to the king. I actually can't wait to see how this unravels. Helaena only says they killed the boy, and the screen cuts. And next week is going to be insane. Like, next week is going to be insane because we have seen how the blacks have dealt with their grief. Let's see how the greens deal with theirs. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who supports me. Okay, my sweet summer children. Have a good day.